Welcome back to Mr. Keeyzo's Corner. I'll put on my Hollywoods for you. Hold on. We got really somebody special in the house tonight. But I kind of don't know how to address her. I don't know if she's Celebrity Chef Margie, Chef Margie, or just Margie Cologne. So, Celebrity Chef Margie, I prefer to call you that. Welcome to Keeyzo's Corner radio show. Thank you for pulling up in the building tonight.
Well, thank you for the recognition. I really appreciate that. I'm Margie Cologne to you, to everyone. I'm as humble as pie. And I am professionally, I'm Chef Margie Cologne. In the industry, I'm known, of course, in Google and registered everywhere, Celebrity Chef Margie.
You earned that. You earned that.
Thank you so much.
Now, let me bring everybody up to speed. She was exposed to a strong cook, started cooking at the tender age of around 9. As a teen, she was exposed to different cultures and food. Started her career off in the legal field.
Yeah.
So how did you become Chef Margie?
Okay, so as far as the legal field, how it started, as I have in many interviews before, although we're on FUBU radio, so this is what we're going to acknowledge today. And thank you for having me here today.
Okay.
Where I began as, very humble. I was, of course, my major was political science and my minor was culinary. And I was as a political science major, I ended up working with landlord and tenant law. So for about 23 years, I decided to work with the community and help them fight evictions, domestic violence. I represented the Veterans Administration for those that were forgotten. After battle, our veterans are discarded. So I sued the city, and I used to take on cases like that. Like if I try to sue for 50 ramps, I got 500. Anyway, however, from there, about 23 years into the legal field, I just got tired. And I said, I want to cook. And to be quite honest, every odd job that I had, I got fired because I would bring food. I got fired. I remember having an employer that was, I won't say the community because it's not appropriate, but they don't eat pork. And I bought pork for those that did. And they enjoyed it, and they realized that the protein was not something, it was against their religion. So I was terminated. But then it inspired me. I said, okay, you know what? This is a sign. I gotta go on with food.
Okay.
And I did this. And in college, I used to protest everybody, and then I would protest my professors and also feed them. So, it's, so food was something that I came up with. I was a foster child, and I struggled as a young girl, and I cooked a lot. I was a very young displaced child, and being displaced, I had a cooking claim to be where I am. And things weren't always as healthy or as available for children to know that they can make it when they become adults. But being part of my mother's friend's household, that knew that my mother had raised a child that knew how to cook, sew, do everything. When my mom was gone, that kind of became exploited. So I cooked for a lot of families, and I survived a lot cooking.
Yeah. So did you know that this was going to be like your career one day? Did you have any idea, or?
Well, I knew that, I perfected poverty. And when you perfect poverty, no one can bring you back.
Now, when you say perfect poverty, what do you mean?
Meaning that I'm such an expert in poverty that I can work my way right out of it. So, I'm an expert at knowing how to work around that.
Okay.
So, I'm as real as it comes, and as humble and as professional as I can be. In regards to that, to know if I was going to become a celebrity chef, I knew that I had a passion to do things that were in me that that was not available to me as a kid. We get hungry for those things.
Right.
You overcompensate with your children. You give them a lot of stuff you didn't have. You feed people. You have a compassion, and when people are hungry, you want to make sure that they eat their food more and that you take care of people. And that's who I am. That's the Christian part of me. I have that thug in me too, but if it's pushed, because I'm from New York.
Right.
However, it's not something that I practice because it's not ladylike.
Right.
So I'm a lady in the streets always.
Okay. So, I do my little fair share of cooking, but you brought an amazing dish that we'll discuss shortly. But I get a lot of passion from, I guess I got it like from my mother and my grandmother and them going in the kitchen and kind of whipping it up. But for me, really learning how to cook, I didn't learn how to cook anything but breakfast. I knew how to cook that since early, but when I left the house, I didn't know how to cook anything. So I was like 21, I think, when I left the house. So I just started really cooking at 21. Okay. And I would call my mother and I'll be like, how do you do this? Or how do you do that? And she would, I wouldn't just kind of give it to her. I would always try to do it. And I think in all those years of me trying, I really got good. So they call me like the grill master. And I don't have like pretty food, but I have like tasty food. Like when you eat it, meat's falling off the bone type of things, and things like that. But people really enjoy my food. So that's what gives me the passion to cook. So I know it's way similar for you. You must have, you're a chef. I'm not nowhere near a chef, but, just to have people eat your food and just, like when you look across the room and see their face and they're like, oh my God, you owe me a favor, right? Do you know what favor you owe me?
Which one?
You said you were going to teach me how to make pernil.
Okay. I could do that.
That's my only wish from you that I require. If you just teach me how to make it, because it's something I want to do. I love eating it. I just don't know how to make it, and I want to make it the way, like some restaurants rather they have it better than others.
Right.
I want the better version of it. So, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, thank you for assigning me that responsibility. I appreciate that. That's a huge compliment. Because
when we first met, that's how we met. We met. You said you were a chef. I was like, oh, you're a chef, and then you started showing me pictures of your food, and then I saw the pernil, and I was like, I want to make that. Yeah. And you was like, I got you. So that you gotta have me. You gotta hook me up, hook a brother up.
Yeah. I will. Consider me your chef on standby. Okay, I'm here, and the celebrity area in regards to food, pernil, and everything. Mm-hmm. What I did is that I took food. If you go to Harlem, Spanish Harlem, you'll see that we have the cuchifritos, we have the windows. So I'm not trying to undermine it and say that it's not the right presentation, but I wanted to represent it differently, where I wanted to take our food and make it high cuisine.
Right.
Well, if you have empanadas, they could be this small. They can be real tiny. If you want to have pernil and you want to have yuca, if you want to have potatoes, or if you want to have rice and beans or arroz con gandules, you can have it beautifully done. The charcuterie boards, the charcuterie boards. I'm sorry. It could be done with the meats that we use. Beautiful. It's a matter of making things small.
Right.
You just take your time and you make things small. They look beautiful because you could stack them up and you could layer them. Mm-hmm. I do that. I cook kosher food. I cook all kinds of food, and I've learned in my time. Don't be fooled. Culinary school, they'll teach you technique. They'll teach you butchering. They'll teach you all kinds of areas, but they won't teach you experience.
Right.
And experience is something that when you go to the South in Georgia and someone's snatching a spoon out your hand and they're saying, that's not how you stir those grits. You have to do it this way. That's the way you have to understand that that's where it begins. Right. Culinary becomes from home. That's where it becomes.
Like my family didn't do a lot of measuring.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Yeah, it's almost like some salt, some seasoned salt, some pepper. And it's crazy because, excuse me, it's crazy because, when you're looking at recipes, like I know sometimes, me and my wife, we be at home and I'll come up with a dish just out of the blue. I'm like, oh, I want to make this. And she's like, like, you know how to make that? Have you made it before? I'm like, nope. I was going to be my first time. And what I realized is, like, sometimes when you follow a recipe, it's not how you would prefer it. You know, it might be under seasoned, it might be underdone, because they'll say, oh, put it in the skillet for 4 minutes on each side. And I'm like, I don't eat my chicken like that. I'm gonna have to leave it for like 10 minutes on each side. But you know, as you cook, you gain that experience and you learn. And that's one thing I've learned. Like, I'll try to follow recipes, and it will never come out the way I like it. It'll be along the lines, but it won't be how I like it. So I just started cooking things longer. I started season things a little bit more, until I got the kind of the recipe, you know, my own little recipe from that. So, you know, that's basically what I do. I know you probably do something totally different, but that's how I do it.
Well, recipes are derived by accidents, believe it or not. There have been times that I've grabbed cumin and I've needed to use cinnamon, and they look the same.
Right.
So you don't want cumin in oatmeal, because that's not the same thing. But accidents happen, and I can't tell you how many accidents I've had that's made a signature dish, and which has made me thousands of dollars. So it's like, it's okay. It'll be a mistake that benefits me. You know, recipes are written by people, and they distinguish things according to where their prejudice lies with their food. So there may be things that they may not want to make or like that I can make. You know, and I filmed, I think you saw that video. There is a Spanish delicacy, which is white rice and salmon with onions, and it's kind of broken down salmon, where they normally get that out of the can when you're gonna make salmon cakes. So what I decided to do was, like, I didn't want to use canned products, so I would take the bone, the end of the salmon bone that the supermarkets just try to sell you really cheap for $2 or $3, and I say, hey, you know what? If I boil this salmon, I can actually all this salmon's gonna flake off, and I can make a salad out of this. And I did, and I showed people, even people that maybe are struggling at this moment, that are on fixed incomes, on how to make a dish that's a delicacy, because salmon is sometimes expensive even out of the can, and show them how to create a delicacy. And I did it my way, with my technique and my recipe. But
what are some of your signature dishes?
Well, my signature dishes are going over and beyond, like pushing the limits, like making a mashed potato purple or lavender. You know, yeah, like you take, and then you don't even taste it. You can take white potatoes. Now, I'm going to give you a spin, and you're going to be like, wait, Margie, I don't know about that. Margie, remember. So, you know, mashed potatoes, a lot of people don't realize that what brings out potatoes is the tanginess of mayonnaise. So what brings out the potato salad? Mayonnaise. And sometimes they'll throw relish in it because they want it more tangier, you know. So what you do is that you take mashed potatoes and you actually season it with salt, pepper, whatever you do, and with butter, and then you add mayonnaise so that you can get a Sookyville kind of moussey kind of a texture. It's really soft, but you can't put too much because then you're gonna have to add more potato.
You just put me on the side. I just made some garlic mashed potatoes the other day. So I used salt, pepper, butter, and milk.
Yeah, you could use mayonnaise. You put some mayonnaise.
Put mayonnaise.
I'm gonna try that. You put the thing now where the lavender comes in. Their magenta mash. Magenta mash is where you take beets. You're like, okay, beets. I don't know about that, but you don't taste them. You blend it. And you tell your wife, hey, pour just a little bit of that dye or the syrup out the can if you want. Okay. And you change the color of your potatoes. Okay. Really nice. And you put it in a Ziploc bag, snip a little corner, and just pipe your potatoes on your plate.
On your plate.
And then you get little tiny purposely small little loaf pans that they have for kids that want to make small little cakes. And you make personalized meatloafs, and you cut them in little playing cards, and you stack them over, and you put gravy the way we know how, and you could do it that way.
What's another dish that you're known for? Like, so people just crave your dish.
Oh,
specialty.
You know that unfortunately, it's not too popular with a lot of people because as far as the Latin community, I can give you in cultures because I cook Mediterranean and different types of foods. But in the Latin culture, they like, there's this thing called escabeche de molleja. Escabeche de molleja, it's like, it's a gizzard salad, chicken gizzards. A lot of people like chicken gizzards, a lot of people don't. And it's the way I make it, it's like, it has a bad reputation of being rubbery. And I make it so soft that you can actually eat it like chicken breast. Now, as far as a universal food, people that we're used to this type of food. Oh my God, I've been as chefs. I wanna just share with you, Keith, that it's a pain in the neck, that question, because we cook so many things. As far as favorite foods, you know, I'm good with seafood. I'm good with lobster, with actually infusing other seafood into lobster.
You know what I like? I like Asian fused food, like Mr. Chow's, Brooklyn Chop House, Say Less.
Oh, I was at the grand opening for the Midtown.
Yeah, Brooklyn Chop.
Yeah, I was with Fat Joe and Mary J. Blige, and I was with what's his name, the gentleman that passed away from the Ellen Show, Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch.
It was Twitch, Joe, Mary, and I, the mayor. We were all together, for that opening.
Now you've worked with a ton of celebrities. Do you get hired often to cook for them? I know last time I talked to you, you were telling me about you were working with the Boxing Association and Don King and a couple of fighters and stuff like that.
Yes, I cooked for Don King. I was in Miami and I cooked for him. That's all. In his case, I can discuss that. With a lot of celebrities, I can't because they get a little uptight. But they allow me sometimes pictures and some don't. There was one major boxer that I cooked for that's undefeated that I can't name. But he was one of the best clients I had, and but with them, those are athletic diets.
Right. I always said when I get older, I was gonna get me a chef, so I don't have to cook, and they can cook me all the proper food, the proper way, and all that stuff. I don't know. I said that a long time ago, but it just never happened. I'm always cooking, and then what happens is once I jump on the stove, and people eat my food, then they don't want to cook no more. Then they want me to cook. Like I got to cook Thanksgiving. I got to cook the turkey for Thanksgiving. You know how hard it is and stressful it is to cook a turkey for like 10, 20 people at Thanksgiving. And everybody's there licking their chops. And they're like, oh, my God, who made this turkey? And I'm like, because, sometimes my biggest fear about cooking is people are not going to like it. But for some reason, I just have this knack of just putting the right seasoning on it, cooking it for the right amount of time, basting it and having it tender and juicy. And so I always I think this is my fourth Thanksgiving that I cooked a turkey, or fifth Thanksgiving I cook a turkey. And I never missed so far. So it's always
then you're good. Then you're on a roll. You're doing things good.
Yeah.
I mean, my secret to turkey. My son was in a real long-term relationship with a Jamaican young woman, beautiful, and very proud of her. And she had problems with my turkey because I made it different, and she ended up taking it home at the end of dinners. And I'm not a big, I don't eat a lot, so. For it to be a small dinner, she took it to her family. And my secret is to shove the cavity with butter. So I literally stuffed the whole cavity of turkey with butter, where you can actually even stick a finger or nothing in there. Yeah, you shove a lot of butter in your turkey.
I usually put the butter. I usually stuff the turkey with the stuffing that I make, the homemade stuffing that you make, and I stuff that with that, and then I put butter on the. I put maybe like 2 tablespoons of butter on each leg. And then once it cooks down and it gets juicy, I just baste it like crazy. I'll take it out. If it's going to cook like 6 hours, every 2 hours I'll take it up and I'll baste it like 20, 30 times. And then I just put it back in, and then I cook it, and I take it out and I just baste it, put all the juices all over it. and it comes out. It comes out. I've been good. You know, I'm no chef, but
No,
I've been
no. I
good.
mean, I add regular you know, I add typical seasonings, and I also, I mean, but I marinate days before, and everything has butter in it, you know, and whatever stuffing there is, I'll have it in the tray versus inside the turkey. I'll have it in the tray, and then and then my tradition with my family, we don't cook our turkey, we sleep through it. So we put it at night, we go to sleep, we put it low at 250, 300, and by the morning it is done, and then we have it in the oven sitting there on just warm. So that'll be ready. That's all. That's always been my secret for everything that has bone
I'm
in
gonna
it.
try that one.
Yeah, all night. And you know, that's the best thing, because when you're waking up to a pernil and turkey and chickens, depending on who it is, because some people are biased to turkey, they want chicken, you can do that. Now, what's good too is if you take your butter too, if you want to season up your butter, if you want to take butter, a little bowl, put Lorry's, if you want to put Sazon, whatever you use, you can make a seasoned butter with that. Or if you want to make your homemade butter, you can take, you just take heavy cream. And let's say people like jalapeno butter. So you blend a little bit of jalapeno, you chop it up, you mince it, and then you take heavy cream and you beat it until it turns into butter. It turns yellow and it separates into buttermilk. So you have two products in one. So you collect the buttermilk, and then you take the curds, you put it in a bowl, you press it, and then when you're done, wherever you form it, you wrap it in aluminum, and you have your fresh butter. And you have anything you want, because when it starts with the milk, you can add your jalapenos, you can add your garlic, you can add. I mean, if you want to make pepperoni butter, you can do whatever. I'm just not making that up. But, you know, anything you want to put in there. You know, I've even made flans with Hennessy.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, flans. People like flans, and I'm not too crazy because I'm not really big on dairy. But if they want any desserts with alcohol, I'll light it up.
Wow, that's cool. I know you say you work with a lot of celebs, but one thing that I noticed, you said you also work with regular, ordinary people and cook for.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you get to a certain status, you kind of like, okay, I'm just cooking for these people over here. I'm not going to waste my time over there.
Never.
I thought that was impressive.
Never.
You know,
That's from Chef Margie Cologne.
Yeah, never forget, you know, where you came from, but never forget the little people. You know, I was just doing an interview and I was telling somebody that when we had our business, it was like, okay, well, yeah, we sell in Macy's and we sell in all these major stores, but, you know, those people in TJ Maxx and Ross and, you know, those lower end stores that, you know, where the product is like a pair of jeans you can get for like $20, $24. Those are different. It's just different product. So the product that goes into Macy's is not necessarily the product that goes into TJ Maxx. It's totally different, and it's made for that purpose. But sometimes people don't understand that. They think that, oh, if you're over here, you should stay over here. You can't. How dare you come over here to deal with these people? And it's like, you know, hey, I have a business in Macy's, but I also have a business in TJ Maxx and Ross and, you know, those lower tier stores. So what am I not supposed to satisfy these customers over here because I'm over here?
Right.
When everybody does it, when every clothing line does it, and we've always gotten criticized so heavy for doing that, and I never understood it, but people don't understand business. So they either understand, you're over here, that's where you need to be, we don't want to see you over here. But yeah, this person got $6 million from me over here. Right. They got 500 stores. I'm going to go get that $6 million. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we always caught so much flack for it. So it's cool to see that you still cater and care about the people who are not celebrities and want to work with you.
Yeah, well, I work with everyone because, you know what, although there's a country saying I'm from the sticks, you know, what you see.
Margie, hood, y'all better watch out now. Don't let this fool you here.
Yeah, we've spoken on a personal level. Yeah. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
If I can get a little again, you can be almost pregnant. You know.
Yeah.
It's like I had a celebrity once approach me about that. I'll throw some hints. It's a movie. She's Scream Mookie, and it's Art Perez. And I cook for her, and she was like, "Well, didn't I tell you that my husband needed his plate filled?" I'm sorry, Mrs. Perez, are you not aware that that's a buffet? And excuse me. You know what? I own my company. So I own the shoes I stand in.
Right.
And until you can tell me that you bought my shoes, I'm going to keep walking with those stilettos. And I'm going to walk down the hood with them.
Right.
So I will take care of who I need to take care of, because you know what it is that I know what it is to be hungry. I know what it is to have no home. I know what it is to be where I am. I've been confronted even with the worst situations with people that have surprised me with the worst scenarios. And I have stayed calm because you know what? That expression, God don't make any mistakes. I don't make any mistakes with God and how he got my back.
Right.
And I sit with him everywhere. Okay, am I religious and do I spew religion? No. But do I believe it exists and how I need to humble myself because I'm only one service away from canceling or making one mistake that could ruin my career? Everyone is you're not falter free. You know, you have faults, and my thing is not to do harm and to be available for everyone. You know, I've opened my homes to domestic violence victims. I've opened when I started out and I was real young. I worked in the Salvation Army. I was a regional manager. A woman walked in with a disabled autistic child, and I decided. I mean, we had donations by the abundance. She needed clothes. Mama, come on, and $10. Take a garbage bag full of stuff for her son. 15 years later, go to the store to visit, and this woman approaches me. Don't recognize her. A big, tall, man playing with toys in his hands. And it was this young boy that had assisted with clothing. Yeah. And he hugged me. Maybe he didn't remember me, but she did. And she was crying, and she remembered that. And to me, that was nothing. That was nothing. You know what it is? Is that whatever floats your boat. Mine's where I come from is like, I don't need to let people know what I do. I don't need to show people what I do. I don't need to take pictures of what I do. I just do it.
Right.
Because I am proud of who I am, and I take me wherever I gotta go. And wherever I gotta go, I gotta take me with me. So I gotta make sure that I represent for me,
Right.
and I gotta answer to me, and I gotta see me, And the one thing I want to see is that people could understand that when they see Celebrity Chef Margie, that part bothers me. Because when they see celebrity, they think celebrity fees. And I'm available for everyone. If you have $100 and you need something for that baby, I got you. Because, not only that, I'm going to show you how to, I'm not going to only bring you food. I'm going to say, can I come to your home? And I'm going to be there an hour early. And I'm going to show you how you could take a box of Hostess cakes and make a beautiful party tray for your family. To make things, available for anyone. Kids, we as parents, we suck up all the problems, and our kids don't notice that, and they shouldn't. They're too young.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I wish more people were like that. We need more people like that. Sometimes when you get to a certain level, you feel like you don't need to go back. I've always been that person that I could always go back to the hood. Like I can literally go to any hood in my neighborhood, on any side, north side, south side, wherever, and be good. Because, first of all, I know tons of people. Second of all, I've been coming back and been doing things for years, and been paying my respect and just giving my time. So once they see that and they know that you grounded and you cool, you get a pass. You don't have the stress that everybody else has. Excuse me. So another question I want to ask is, how hard is it being a woman chef? Because I've noticed that we've had discussions before, and you brought up some things, and how women in general, they get it bad sometimes, right? So, but you going through this business, being in these these spaces with all these celebrities or people or whatever. How hard is it to be a woman chef in this business?
Well, first and foremost, being a woman chef, even out of culinary school, even with your own professors, they assume that even when you're just a student, you can see that they'll kind of educate there. I mean, everybody's there for open. It's an open display where you could all learn at the same time. But the exhibits and the displays are more for the guys. Like they'll elect the guys to volunteer to do things like that. But women are assumed to be the ones that stir the pot. Either we stir the pot or we stir our bodies. We walk by and they brush right by us, and they think that we didn't notice that while we were stirring the pot. That we go through a lot of sexual innuendos. We go through a lot of kind of stuff, like we're like second class citizens in the area of cuisine. And I had a chef that I looked up to so much. I even thought that he would be a partner for me one day. I had it bad for him, and I was so proud of him, and more that he followed me. And then I said, "Do you love what I specialize in? Do you love all these interviews?" I was on TV. I was everywhere, LGBTQ accounts. I had everything. I was flying out. The James Brown family, everyone. Everyone that I'm connected to, and he says, "Well, you've done good for someone that specializes in empanada." And I'm telling you, keep an empanada, okay, something that you can buy like a pastry dough that you can fill. So, you want to go there? Okay, so let's go there. Let me sit up here, okay? We'll go there. So I know, and I can promise you that the day that I opened up a restaurant, I don't do that because I'd rather just get paid to fly and cook. I will. His name is Marulanda. Yeah, Fernando Marulanda, Chef Fernando Marulanda. It will be called Marulanda, and that protein will be a pig. It will be a pork. Okay, a pork product. Okay. If I have some pulled pork, if I have some ribs, it will have anything, because that kind of hit me and it stood with me because he was like a mentor to me. But I got to teach him. I can't get mad. It looks like I'm mad, right? I'm not mad. I'm offended. But you know what it is? A lot of men think that, let me answer your question. A lot of men think that we can't do what they can do.
Yeah.
They be more creative, they're more stronger. But at the end of the day, all these men that thought that of me, I employ them. I employ all of them. And I don't want...
Say it with your chest, Margie.
You know what? Let me sit up again. Yeah.
She said, I employ them.
I employ them. Yes, I fly them in.
I employ them.
I provide the hotel, everything, the security and everything for them. They're the ones that stand there and speak to crowds when they stop me from getting on airplanes. They're there when I walk in and there's a pilot that knows me, because I fly so much, and I don't go and I tell them, well, I'm going to be on this flight that I know the flight number is connected to that pilot. I'm very humble. I don't need to let people know that.
Right. Now you brought brought me a dish here, and it looks fabulous. I know you opened it. You were trying to get me to eat it before we started, and I was like, "Oh,
no, I just wanted you to see it. I wanted you to see it."
It's a seafood linguine. Looks like some mussels, some shrimp.
Yeah, everything is jumbo.
Okay.
So you have jumbo shrimps, you have mussels, you have crab in there, you have a calamari in there. All the refined seafood that you can find in there. Pieces of langostino and lobster in there.
Oh my God! I got lobster, darling. I got some lobster up in here. Yeah, this is gonna be. You know what is crazy? I'm gonna get at it as soon as we finish this interview, because I didn't eat anything because I was running around.
Right.
And my other interview was running late, so I didn't get a chance to go out. I could have went out before she got here, but I didn't get a chance to go out. So I'm definitely gonna sink my teeth in this and enjoy that. And shrimps look very, very good. And
Thank you
brought me all a little, see, this is how you take care of people, She brings all the seasonings and everything. Make sure that the oil don't come out, and just attention to detail. I got some garlic bread, right?
Yeah.
I got some garlic bread over here, freshly baked. And she even brought me toothpicks. Now, who thinks about the toothpicks when you're cooking for somebody? Now, I love it. You got stuff to wash my hands, and I got my plates right here. Yeah, I'm about to dig in. So listen, anything else, any other news you got coming up, or anything you want to promote and you want to shout out to?
Well, no, I have like, normal accounts like baby showers that are coming up right now.
Okay.
I do have a trip to London soon. I've even cooked for the United Nations. So, I've cooked for a lot of people. I've noticed that I'm not really organized with my portfolio because when I was trying to compile information for your show, I had all these celebrities and all these events, and I'm like, how do I put it all in one kind of reference? And I couldn't do that. So I'm kind of proud of that background. However, I need to organize it. What I have to do now is that I do have, like I said, I have my London trip. I have a baby shower. And what else do I have? I have the Puerto Rican Association that I'm cooking for too. So it doesn't matter what it is, I mean, I have even small little dinners where I cook for Central Park West, I cook for Central Park West or wherever it is that they need me, or if you need me to teach you how to boil water, I'm here, Yeah. So, that, like I said, I'm known for big portions.
Right.
I'm known for big portions, but I'm also known for to make it look very elegant. And I don't have a budget with my clients. If you want something.
Great. No, that's good. That, to me, that's like the biggest thing because, when you find somebody who's really invested and works with a lot of different people, like sometimes they turn their nose down to you. They like, oh, no, I don't do that. Like I was talking to somebody years ago, and they were offering, I think it was like a massage service, and I was like, okay, I don't want a 3-hour massage. Can I get an hour massage? And they were like, well, you don't tell me how to run my business, this, that, and third, and this, that, and third. And I'm like, I just think 3 hours is too long. You know what I mean? Like it's just too long. I didn't want a 3-hour massage, but
okay.
But please tell people where they can find you and how they can book you.
Yeah, well, on Instagram, I'm c.chef Margie on IG. On TikTok, I'm Chef Margie's Kitchen. On Facebook, I am Chef Margie Cologne. Facebook has more of a following, especially if it's professional. It's unlimited, so I try to just stay as a chef. And to research me, you can go through Google. I think that I'm more on Bing. For some reason, I'm just on Bing, but I'm all through the internet, and I'm well known. And the one thing that I do hold really sacred is people's privacy, because where I am now in status is because I'm trusted in celebrity homes, in anyone's homes, and it doesn't matter what budget it is. Like I said, it doesn't matter what budget. I will be there. And again, even as a chef, I was a civil mediation officer. I'm not trying to promote two businesses, but I believe that we always become part of our clients' lives. So if anyone ever had an issue, they could also reach out to me on social media if they have any type of citywide or federal problems that have to do with food, even loss of money or anything. I'm here and I'm available for my community to help them be able to fill their refrigerators and be able to even show them what to do when we could take that food out that refrigerator.
No, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming through.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And we're going to get to some of this food. I'm going to eat some of this food right after I get off this air. All right. Well, thank you once again, Margie.
Thank you.
Celebrity Chef Margie. Let me do it correctly.
Oh.
Celebrity Chef Margie.
Dr. Perry. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm trying to get used to that Dr. Perry thing.
No, I'm very proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you. All right. This is another episode of Mr. Keeyzo's Corner. We out. All right.
Bye.
Peace.